In the world of professional wrestling, few names are bigger than Hulk Hogan. With his iconic yellow bandana, handlebar mustache, and a booming voice shouting, "What you gonna do, brother?" Hogan became one of the most recognizable figures in sports entertainment history.
Ow.
But behind the roaring crowds and championship belts lies a story filled with struggle, controversy, family challenges, and powerful lessons about fame and redemption. This is the story of Hulk Hogan. Before the fame, before the arenas filled with screaming fans, there was a young boy named Terry Bollea. He was born on August 11, 1953, in Augusta, Georgia, but grew up in Tampa, Florida. As a kid, Terry loved sports and music. In fact, wrestling wasn't even his first passion. He played baseball and dreamed of becoming a professional athlete. But life had other plans. During his teenage years, Terry discovered professional wrestling on television. He was fascinated by the larger-than-life characters. These wrestlers weren't just athletes. They were heroes and villains in a living comic book. Inspired by the powerful figures he saw in the ring, young Terry started lifting weights and training his body. But his path would not be easy. Breaking into professional wrestling in the 1970s was extremely difficult. Terry was rejected multiple times. Promoters doubted him. Trainers pushed him to the very edge of exhaustion. Wrestling schools were brutal, and injuries were common. Terry refused to quit. He was determined to make it. Eventually, he started wrestling in small regional promotions. It was during this time that a promoter noticed his blonde hair and powerful physique. That promoter gave him a name that would change his life forever: Hulk Hogan. The name was inspired by his size, which reminded people of the comic book hero, the Incredible Hulk. Soon after, Hogan joined the World Wrestling Federation, the company that would later become WWE. This was the start of something legendary. In the 1980s, Hulk Hogan exploded into global superstardom. His character was heroic, patriotic, and completely unstoppable. Fans absolutely loved him. Kids wore his shirts. Adults chanted his name. When Hogan stepped into the ring, the entire arena would shake with excitement. His catchphrase, "Hulkamania is running wild," became a cultural phenomenon. He won multiple championships and headlined the biggest wrestling events in history. At the historic WrestleMania 3, Hogan performed one of the most famous moments in wrestling history, lifting and slamming Andre the Giant, a 520-pound legend. The crowd of over 90,000 people erupted. That single moment cemented Hogan as the face of wrestling for an entire generation. Hogan's success went far beyond the ring. He became a movie star, famously appearing in Rocky III, where he faced off against Sylvester Stallone. He was everywhere: television shows, commercials, and video games. In wrestling, his accomplishments were historic. He was a multiple-time world champion. He headlined numerous WrestleMania events and was eventually inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. By the peak of his career, Hogan had become a multimillionaire with an estimated net worth that would eventually reach around $25 to $30 million. Though it fluctuated over the years due to lawsuits, business ventures, and personal challenges. But as we all know, fame always comes with a price. Outside the wrestling ring, Hogan tried to build a normal family life. He married Linda Hogan, and together they had 2 children, Brooke and Nick, in the mid-2000s. The Hogan family starred in their own reality television show called Hogan Knows Best. The show gave fans an inside look at the life of the wrestling superstar at home. Viewers watched Hulk Hogan as a protective father, guiding Brooks' music career and trying to keep Nick out of trouble. For a little while, it seemed like the perfect celebrity family. But reality television also revealed the cracks just beneath the surface. Fame placed enormous pressure on the Hogan family. In 2007, Nick Hogan was involved in a serious car accident that left another passenger critically injured. The incident led to legal trouble and a storm of public criticism. Around the same time, Hulk Hogan's marriage began to fall apart. After more than 20 years together, Linda Hogan filed for divorce. The breakup was highly publicized and emotionally painful for the entire family. Brooke Hogan later revealed just how difficult it was growing up in the spotlight, with millions of viewers watching their personal struggles unfold on television. For Hulk Hogan, this period was one of the darkest of his life. The strong hero fans saw in the ring was facing very real battles at home. Then, in 2012, Hogan faced one of the most shocking scandals of his career. A private video involving Hogan was secretly recorded and later published online by the website Gawker. The release of the tape became a massive media controversy. Hogan argued that the video was recorded without his consent and that publishing it was a gross violation of his privacy. The scandal damaged his reputation and brought intense media scrutiny, but Hogan decided to fight back. He filed a lawsuit against Gawker, claiming invasion of privacy. The legal battle that followed became one of the most famous cases involving celebrity privacy in the digital age. In 2016, Hogan won the lawsuit, receiving a massive settlement that ultimately forced Gawker to shut down. The case became a landmark moment in media law and a huge talking point about digital privacy. Despite winning the lawsuit, Hogan's career still faced major setbacks. At one point, he was temporarily removed from WWE due to controversial remarks that resurfaced publicly. For a man who had spent decades as the hero of wrestling, this was devastating. But Hogan eventually worked toward rebuilding his reputation. Years later, he was reinstated into the WWE Hall of Fame and slowly returned to public appearances. Fans who grew up watching him still cheered when his iconic theme music played. Even after all the controversies, Hulk Hogan remained a symbol of wrestling history. Love him or criticize him, there's no denying that Hulk Hogan changed professional wrestling forever. Without him, wrestling might never have become the global entertainment powerhouse it is today. He helped transform the sport from a niche interest into mainstream pop culture. Millions of fans were inspired by his simple message, train, say your prayers, and eat your vitamins. It was simple advice, but it represented discipline, belief, and perseverance. Over the decades, Hogan built his wealth through wrestling, acting, endorsements, and business ventures. Despite lawsuits, divorces, and career setbacks, his net worth has remained significant. He also opened businesses like Hogan's Speech Shop and continues making appearances at wrestling events and conventions. To this day, Hulk Hogan remains one of the most recognizable figures in sports entertainment. Hulk Hogan's life teaches a powerful lesson. Success can bring fame, wealth, and admiration. But it can also bring pressure, mistakes, and public scrutiny. No one, no matter how strong they appear, is perfect. Even heroes fall. But what matters most is the ability to learn, grow, and stand back up after life knocks you down. Hulk Hogan's journey reminds us that behind every legend is a human being who struggles, fails, and tries again. And sometimes, that fight outside the ring is the hardest one of all. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content like this. See you in the next video.